now, gone for later. It's like you weird niggas ain't about your paper. And why my friends treat me like I'm not a native. When they pull up, they just focused on my figures. You ain't lit, but why I feel like I'm the victim. Well, all your questions.
Got my man up. Morning haircuts, you already know what it is.
What's the nexus?
Woo.
If you my man, since you point me to the exit. I do this shit for love, now I just get ready. Cause it's what the trading niggas are getting it. Even snitches, whack bitches. Damn, I guess it's fuck our tradition. You ain't Elon Musk, your dance ain't no invention. Have fun, but don't be Charles Dickens. Got no mag mittens when you making your decisions. Got no women who can see the whole vision. You're just winning. Why you gotta come with your bullshit on a sunny day?
My name is sang-tran. I'm 26 years old. I'm the owner of Sang Studios, and this is what I do. My parents, they're originally from Vietnam, Saigon. From what they tell me, they like grew up together. They met each other as like teenagers. My mom tells me little stories about it. Like, I guess her parents abandoned her, and then my dad's folks took her in, and they kind of like just grew up together since like they're like 10ish or 12 or something like that. And then that's how my parents met, man. They met each other from when they were kids, man. You know, I have one older brother born out there in '89. My parents came to what was it? They went from Vietnam to Canada, and then from Canada, when they entered the United States, they went to Vermont. And then this whole time, I think I found out when I was a teenager or something. I was like looking at my social security card, and it shows that I was born in Vermont. I don't know nothing about Vermont. The whole time I thought I was born and raised in Los Angeles, you know, like that's all I know. I would like to visit one day, but it still feels like it makes no sense.
Face down, I'm a fuck.
From there, my parents went to California in Los Angeles. I think it was more opportunity. My dad used to fix watches, and to this day he's like a watchman. He just collects a bunch of watches. Yeah, it's his hobby. My parents did like, you know, the typical Vietnam nail shop business. So that's what they came out here to do. They came out here to the LA to open up a nail shop. My parents are very old school, man. Like they just dropped me out of school, and I lived a block away from it, you know? As a kid, it always felt farther for some reason, right? So my parents just dropped me out of school. They're like, all right, make it back home, see you later, you know? I remember one time I got lost. I got off at 3 and I got lost for fucking hours. I didn't get home till like 9 p.m. I showed up at my house crying, bro. Like, what the fuck? How'd you guys leave me there? And my parents like, you made it home, you know, you're good. And I just never got lost again. This was like 2nd grade or some shit. I was like 8 years old or something, you know? Pretty bad. Yeah, that was in West LA. Went to Brockton Elementary, and then from there went to Webster Middle School, and then uni. That's like all schools in the same neighborhood. Went to University High. That was across the street from my house too. Yeah, me and Alfonso, we grew up together on the same street. We both came up on Brockton Ave. We went to the same schools the whole time. Alfonso was actually a year older than me, and we both went to Brockton Elementary. That's like right up the street. The whole crazy story about how like I even got started cutting. My dad would take me to a fucking salon, and we used to get fucked up. Oh man, I used to hate going back to school after the haircut, you know? I was like, fuck, you can't do me like this. Like, and then the worst part about it was like, he kept on taking me to the same fucking place that kept on fucking me up. He wouldn't even like try to explore something else. So it was like, I was going to a spot knowing that I was gonna get fucked up. And he'll tell me like a week before. So the whole week I'm just waiting around like, damn, I'm about to get fucked up, you know? So I was never looking forward to that shit, man. It was the worst. So it got to a point where I was like sick of that shit. I was like, all right, Dad, look, I'm not going there no more. Like me and my brother like somehow came up with like 20 bucks, got some clippers for the house. This is me, my brother, all the homies, like we're just cutting each other up. That's what we would do. We would play video games and try to cut each other up because we didn't have a barbershop to go to yet, you know? I guess out of everybody, I was the first one somehow to get the lineup down. So I became the guy who gave out like the best worst haircut out of the group, you know? But we'll all cut each other up. So we'll play video games, cut hair. That was like our thing that we'll do all day, hanging out the house and ride bikes outside. And I think around 9th grade somewhere, I'll still giving out horrible haircuts. But people still came to me. I was like, for some reason, everybody was going to me like before or after school to come get like a lineup or a quick like cleanup. Like they didn't trust me all the way. They just know that I held the clippers. You know, so they're like, hey, Sang, can you just like touch us up real quick?
Never stressed out, bitch. I'll get enough.
I'll say during high school, like I got more into it. What happened was around my senior year, one of my best homies, Demick, he's a little older than me. I was a senior year, he like started the whole barber school already. He like kind of walked into my house and like ran into like a line, like me doing a lineup or something. He kind of just put two together in his head. And at the time I wasn't doing shit. I was out there like, you know, still active, doing dumb shit, you know? Like, so he started barbering school already. And he kind of just like walked in on me. I don't know, man. Like I didn't care about it, you know? I was just like, I don't know. It wasn't like a cool thing, you know? Not like today. I think today is like fucking barbers are like cool as shit now. Yeah, there's celebrity barbers now. That like even when I started barber school, that wasn't like really a thing. It was probably like one or two guys, like, you know, like, oh, that guy cuts up Nas. You know, like shit like that. That was like a major thing, but there was no such thing. Now there's like 100 different celebrity barbers, like they're in the game. There's like competitions and all kinds of shit. Like, it's crazy. So Demick brought up the whole barber school thing, and I was just kind of like, I kind of brushed it off, like, all right, like, I was kind of like, yeah, like, I gave him a half-assed answer, like, I just kind of lied to him. I was like, I'm down, and I didn't mean it, you know, I was just like, yeah, I might be down to check it out. And so the next day, he like just pulls up, and then like, he just kind of like, it's like someone I saw like every other day, you know? He just kind of dragged me to the barber school. He was like, let's go, come on. We went. The first time I stepped into the barber school, that's when I realized like, oh, this shit is tight. When I walked inside and got inside, you know, and looked around and kind of hung out for like 30 minutes, that's when I was like, this shit is dope. That's when it's like hard to explain. I saw it as a form of art when I walked in, you know? Everybody was just kind of doing their thing. Everybody was like really big on designs when I walked in. Like, it was crazy. Stepping a foot in the school, that's when I fell in love with it. And I got like real curious. I got way more interested. When I left there, I just, that's all I wanted to do. I was like, I need to start school ASAP. This is like, I'm still trying to wrap up high school. It's like right at the end of my senior year. I remember I went back home. My parents didn't come home until like 7 p.m. every day. You know, they worked like 9 to 5 every day. When I seen them come home, I kind of told them what I want to do. You know, the first person I went to was my mom, because she supports me on everything that I do, kind of, you know? And then my dad was more of the hard ass the whole time. The best way to describe my dad is like, you know the 70s show? Yeah. My dad was like red. I remember I told my mom about it. My mom was like, oh, okay, shit. Like, yeah, it was like that. That's gonna be cool. You know, she just looked at it as like, it'll keep me out of trouble, because I was really like, I wasn't doing anything else but like hanging out with like, you know, and she saw all my homies too. I was hanging out with like all the wrong dudes and getting into dumb shit. So my mom just looked at it as like, hey, whatever it is to keep you busy and then off the street, like that's fine with me. So she just automatically was like trying to help me push that. And so they didn't even know what the word barber meant. My dad was just more like, a barber? What the fuck's a barber? You know? And then I had to explain to him like, yeah, I want to cut hair. And then my dad was like, cut hair? You want to be a fucking, like a hairdresser? You know? And I was like, no, I'm a barber, I cut dudes, you know? And he's like, man, he's like, get out of here. He just was disappointed as fuck. I think what he told me before I knocked out was like, all right, you're gonna struggle all your life, all right? Like, go ahead. But you know what though, it was all tough love, man. You know, I feel like now it's like, now he understands. You know, he saw the process and now he's like, he's fucking proud. He just didn't know, yeah. But now he's like, oh yeah, my son owns a barber-shop and shit. And like, he over exaggerates a little bit too. Like, he owns multiple barber-shops. So at the time, the school was asking for like $450 a month or something. And this is me as a teenage kid, like, you know, like 17, I had no, like, I barely had like 20 bucks a day, you know? Yeah. Now it's about getting the money, like paying the bills to go to the school. I had to pay for it, you know? And at the time, there's like no loan for barber schools and all that shit. Like, I had like a to-do list, like, all right, this is what I need to do to get here. So first things first, I was like, all right, I need to go get a fucking job. This is like around my senior year. I got some news the same week from my girlfriend, like, hey, I'm having a kid. When I got that news right there, when my girlfriend told me when I was having a kid, that's when I realized, like, all right, I cannot bullshit. Like, this has to happen, you know? I got lucky, got hired at a yogurt place. I was pretty much getting a check like every 2 weeks, right? And my checks were like fucking like 200 between 250 or something like that every 2 weeks, bro. I was pretty much working Monday to Friday. I was going to barber school from like 9 to 3, pretty much 9 to 3. And then right after barber school, every morning, I would clock in. Like, it was like that for a whole year. A whole year, just work, school, all on the same day. I came home like every day, like around 12. Yeah, that was tough, man. I didn't see it. It sounds crazy now that I think about it, now that I talk about it. But yeah, that's what I was doing while I was going to barber school, man. Dude, how we met? It was actually like my first year of cutting hair. I was working in in Pico Barbershop in the Venice location. During like the first month, I guess he was new in town also. Kind of just walked in. He was originally getting a haircut with the barber next to me. Just based off that, we just naturally became homies. I would just see him kind of like neutrally. So to keep it short, he showed up to the barbershop early one time. The other barber was running a little late or something. He just like sat in my chair. It was a wrap after that.
Yeah, because I was coming from so far away, I didn't have time to wait for the person who was about to cut my hair. And he always be bullshit.
After he sat in my chair, got a haircut. I saw him once a week after that. Like I've been knowing him for the past like almost my whole barber career now. I cut hair like a little bit under 10 years or something.
I'm just wondering about maybe we should go like a 3.
Yeah, that's perfect. You know, I was always there. He called me, like we made appointments. And as I was cutting his hair, like we was kind of like, you know, we slowly became brothers, man. You know, when you see someone once a week, you just know everything that's going on with each other. You feel safe. The barbershop was like a safe zone for men to come to and just talk all their shit. I'm telling you, we kind of kicked off, became bros, and he invited me to his first show. His first show was pretty crazy. The first show I've been to was pretty crazy with him. He actually opened up for the RZA, like Wu-Tang, like RZA Wu-Tang. I don't have the ticket, but I have a photo of that shit. Show after show, like it went from like a little bar venue, and then it got to a point where people started like, I remember being at a show, I remember just looking around and people are fucking singing the lyrics to the song. And I'm just like, oh damn, this is getting crazy. That's when I realized it's getting real big.
I look good. I look like I finna fuck somebody.
Come here. I just want to hug you. This is my brother, man, for life, man.
Would you say your career changed once you started cutting my hair?
Some nice pre-rolls, beautiful view. Man, Nori.
New man, shorter hair, new Z, new music.
You need cuts?
I'll be coming, yes, boy.
I was mainly focused on my house calls, and I always wanted a place, like a location where people could come visit and get haircuts still, you know? So that's the whole purpose of me having this like office space, you know? When I first came in here, it was like this one chair and like a living room setup and video games. That's what it looked like. It looked like I lived here. A lot of people thought that like, yo, you live here? Like, is everything cool? All my best friends were like, yo, are you cool at home? Like, is everything cool with Sam and Adam? Like, they thought I like moved out or some shit, you know? I was like, nah, bro, like I fucking work here. I don't live here. Can you just be proud of the guy? Yeah. My friends would bring in their homies, you know? They'll bring in like people, like this word of mouth. People would show up, people book online. And every time, like anyone that walked in that door for the first time, their reaction in here was what made me believe in this place. You know, their reaction was like, oh shit. Cause when you're coming here, you're trying to find it, you're like, yo, where the fuck am I at? It's like sketched. And then when they came inside, that's when they realized like, damn, this shit's tight, you know? And right now it's like me and one barber, and I got a stylist on call right now, you know? So it's coming along. Every day is like I'm trying to figure out what's next. I just really been trying to come up with ideas and events. You know, we had art shows here. You know, we have tattoo parties in here. Doing my end game is like, I thought about it. I have so many end games, man. I want to own multiple barbershops, you know, and to a standard where I left it at. What else can I do besides a haircut? That's what I'm doing here. Down the facials, steam shaves. Just trying to innovate the game, man, and set the bar. That's what I think about every day. Like, how can I bring this to another level? How can I set the bar? Like, I want to be the guy who did that first all the time. You know, like I'm even working on a bar supply, you know, like for barbers, you know, aftershave, baby powder, razors, blades. I'm trying to like even make my own clipper one day, you know? Like I'm trying to just create much as possible. Dude, like I even thought about having a fucking barber school. There's not a lot of them, you know? There's not a lot of barber schools. Why not come up with a barber school and have, right after barber school, have a job ready, you know? Because some barbers leave barber schools not even knowing where they're gonna go, or if they're gonna get hired somewhere.
Amiris and 50 sacks, young killers and raiders.
One of my clients came in as a teacher at a high school. He mentioned like, hey, like, you think you can come speak to the kids? It was for a career fair, and I didn't realize what it was exactly. I just said yeah. As soon as he said kids, like, can you speak to the kids? I thought I was gonna be like in the classroom or something and like just say some shit for like 30 minutes, you know? No, this shit ended up being like a whole event. College or the Marines. That's all they're promoting right there. So it was me and Alfonso, you know? We both got invited to the event and to host a table. I didn't know what I wanted to say to these kids, you know? I didn't want to tell them not to go to college. college is not always promised. So I just kind of showed them like, hey, look, man, like this is what I did with my art. This is what like all this led to for me. This is like my outlet. This is what kept me busy. That was my first time I kind of realized that I had something else besides just cutting hair. That's when I felt like, hey, like I kind of do have like a voice. Especially the way me and Alfonso came up, man. Like there was like a negative way to go about it, as in like, you know, we're on the streets, vandalizing shit, you know, destroying property. Like that's how we were doing it. Like I was definitely just hanging up on just random shit, man. Like just destroying shit. Like there's a lot of kids there that are doing that too. That we can see it. You know, they walk down these books, and then some of these kids are just going through a lot. You can kind of see it, man. Like a lot of these kids were going through some real shit. You know, some kids were just real quiet and not goofy. Like you kind of tell like something was fucked up at home or something. Hawaii was crazy, man. That came out of nowhere. I went to Alfonso's office, you know, saying what's up, and then this is when I meet this guy named Kevin. He was visiting from Hawaii. Kevin went to Alfonso's for a tat, and I kind of just walked in, and then I sat around, and that's how I met Kevin from K-Vibe. K-Vibe is a bike program for the youth in Hawaii. So we kind of just met, and we kind of just kicked it off. So as we did all that, you know, it kind of led to this, and that's when Kevin reached out, like, hey, I didn't know that you guys do this. Like, would you guys like to come out here and work with our kids? They offered to fly us out there and work with them, and you know, I was doing haircuts. Alfonso was trying to show them how to do art. We were out there for a week, man, just hanging out with the kids in the neighborhood, and it was a really crazy experience, man. I felt like it wasn't like a Hawaii vacation. We went to go see like the gutter of Hawaii. This really puts me in perspective where like there's projects everywhere. You know, like when we talk about Hawaii, we think about vacations, man. We think about the beach. Like I never knew there was projects out there or anything like that. Like every time I heard about Hawaii, it always sounded like a vacation or something. But where me and Alfonso were hanging out at was like in the gutter of Hawaii in a great way. The real islanders, the countryside of it, you know, it was really like we got to live and breathe like a real person from the island. Alright, so this is where we're going. Yeah, the titanium shop where they're helping kids like spray paint their bicycles pretty much. I'm assuming that we're gonna go there to work too. Like I'm gonna be cutting hair somewhere over there. But here we go. So Alfonso was pretty much talking to the kids about how he did tattooing and lettering. I had like a little binder, you know, just showing them like photos of me, like, you know, going different areas, cutting up like celebrity clients, you know. I just kind of showed them what hard work could take me. Cause all these kids, like, they're going through so much. You know, there's a big group of them. I know that at least like 10 of them were probably living in the same household together. One shower, they would all be in a hurry to like use this shower, bro. And not every kid was getting a shower every day. Like it was like, I'm just getting perspective out of it, man. You know, and I'm just like, damn, this is crazy. And the way is like, they didn't see nothing wrong with that, man. These kids, like, they shared everything. I remember we went to like 7-Eleven real quick, and then all of them like kind of chose something together. All of them picked out like one thing, and then they went outside and like they all just bid off the same bar or whatever it was that they had. You know, they just all like shared around. Like even when they drank something, it was like they passed it around like in a circle. Everyone got to sip out of this one thing. Yeah, it definitely gave me perspective, man. I came back clear-minded, and I was just like, I was very grateful. I came back grateful for everything. I have nothing to complain about, bro. Look, these are all the names right here of kids and the homies who got haircuts today. It's good, man. It's just good. Like I think, like, you know, it don't have to be Hawaii. You know, if you're going through some shit, man, like literally, you can just, all you gotta do is take a pause, step out of your fucking world, because the whole world doesn't revolve around your ass. Step out your own bubble and look at it from a distance. Everybody's going through their own shit. And I probably don't even show it. A lot of my friends probably don't even know about this, but I go through shit too. It's all smiles and shit, jokes, like when I'm hanging out with my people, because I don't like to bring my bullshit to someone. I'm trying to bring light everywhere I go. Cheers. Woo! Yeah, so we kind of saw it, you know, to go through all that, man, and to like, I would have never saw this, you know, but I think when you believe in something, you can really do it when you put the effort in, you know. My name is sang-tran, 26 years old. I'm the owner of Sang Studios, and this is what I do for a living. If you have a passion for this, you should definitely go for it, you know? Like, I didn't even know what I had. I wasn't good at it from the beginning. Like, it's just like anything. The more time you put into something, you're gonna get good at it. I did have some doubts at one point. Where, like, out of my group of friends, I was the only person who had a kid on the way at 17 having a conversation, man. And it was crazy, man. It was scary. The clock was ticking for me. And I felt like, all right, this real dude's on the way. I gotta figure something out. Like, I'm relying on lunch money right now. Like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it was do or die, literally. Like, And then dying was not an option, stopping was not an option. It's like, because like now I got people relying on me, you know? So it's really not about like the money like that. It's about like you're paying for the experience and the knowledge that someone has, time and effort that they put into it. That's what you're paying for.
I'ma leave it like that, cause I ain't doing shit for a bitch again. Been in, done that, fuck it, yeah. I'ma send my ass back, ain't none of y'all putting work in. You wanna make money, man, that's so hype.
My name is sang-tran. Did I? My name is sang-tran. I stuttered? I feel laugh, bro. My name is sang-tran. I'm 26 years old.